GT Holidays, South India's #1 travel brand.
GUVI, a vernacular edutech brand, skilling everyone everywhere.
Hi Aayush, welcome to Galata Plus.
Thank you so much, sir.
In your side of the family, your grandfather's a politician,
Yeah.
your father's a politician. So that's one route that you could have taken.
Yeah.
Your wife's side of the family,
Yeah.
everyone's an actor.
Yeah.
That's cinema.
Yeah.
And you've taken that.
Yeah.
Why this and not that?
When I was living in Delhi, I was studying in Delhi, and there was politics around me everywhere. There was politics. There used to be discussions about elections. There used to be discussions about India.
Right.
A lot of conversations used to happen. Though I was very politically aware, there was a very small little passion I had that was about movies.
Small little.
Yeah, because
Okay.
in my household at that point in time, it was not really appreciated to be a movie buff.
Right.
Like in my household setup, it was not like we go to someone's wedding and we perform. We were groomed to be politicians. Groom, stand straight, conduct yourself in a proper fashion. So it was not really appreciated that, you have any interest towards entertainment side. So movies were like, I would say, a outing for birthdays, anniversaries. It's very simple that if it's my birthday, my family would take me for a movie. Or if it's my parents' anniversary, we'll go for movies, followed by dinner. So that was a routine, set. So there were hardly about 4 to 5 movies that we would watch. But there was a inclination towards movies, the liking towards movies, which I was not really open about to tell my parents that I like doing that. So there was a little brash kid inside me who would bunk tuitions, sometimes bunk school also, and watch every film on a Friday. So I was very aware of the film. It was actually quite funny that I believe there was a movie called The Legend of Bhagat Singh. And that became like an obsession for me at that age. And I was like constantly watching it. I wanted to watch it 3, 4 times.
This is the Ajay Devgan one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then suddenly we were doing the history classes and I was constantly asking questions. So movie had a lot of impact on me. I remember that after watching a movie, I would come back home to my room, put your headphones on, listen to the songs and dance on it by myself alone, just have my own bit. So the inclination was there. So my father recommended I complete my graduation in Bangalore. He, admitted me to Christ University, and he said, why don't you study there and then, finish your education, then come back to Himachal because my family is from Himachal. I purposely screwed up my interview. I got the admission, but I screwed it up so that I can come to Mumbai.
Right.
And that was the journey because I wanted to discover the world of movies. I wanted to see what movies are all about, how films are made, what goes behind the camera, the fascination with actors, the fascination with the storytelling, entertainment side. And so I got myself admitted to Jai Hind College. And that's where my journey began. That's where I started, silently going for movie auditions, advertisements, going for acting schools. I remember my Jai Hind College, once I was in my college and somebody said, are you in this college? Because I was never in college. I was always, going for some class or the other and learning.
Right.
And finally, after 1 year of doing that, I broke the ice to my father that I want to be an actor. And it was like the world had come crashing down, that how did this happen? When did you decide to be an actor? And that's where the journey began.
Right.
The excitement to be in movies.
Right.
And the reason why I never chose politics, because I believe that my grandfather did very good work when he was there. My father is doing very well for himself. I personally felt that though I understand politics, though I understand what it is to be a political family, I felt I do not have the acumen which they had.
Okay.
And I think even though my family did try to convince me that, you do have the acumen of a politician, I somewhere down the line felt that if I am not 100% into what I want to do,
Right.
then there's no point. I want to follow my dreams.
Right.
So my journey started with about 5 years of validity period from my father. Then 5 years, if I don't do anything in life, I swear I will come back and I will join the family politics. I'll help you with politics, I'll help you with business. But give me 5 years to pursue my dream.
Right. You are the strange combination of what the industry calls, you are not an Nepo kid.
Yeah.
And yet you are seen as an Nepo kid
Yeah,
because
yeah.
of the family that you're married
Yeah,
into.
yeah.
Now, the point is, there is this, every time I interview somebody that has come from a film family, which is again a little
Yeah.
bit of a confusion for you
Yeah.
because you're technically
Yeah.
you're not a film family,
Yeah.
but at the same time
Yeah.
you are a film family.
Yeah.
The questions that people ask usually, why are you interviewing this person? They already have so much of PR
Yeah.
push. Their
Yeah.
magazines are already taking their pictures.
Yeah.
They're always in the news. Why don't you
Yeah.
go interview somebody
Yeah.
that's not getting that kind of attention?
Yeah.
Now, if you were in my position,
Yeah.
what is the answer you'd give?
See, I completely understand that there are two sides because as I said that I started my journey with auditions.
Right.
When I started my journey, I still remember my first audition was for YRF. They were making a film called Mujhse Friendship Karogi. Saqib was the lead actor in that, and that was my first audition. Then I tried my luck in advertisements. I think I must have auditioned for about 300 advertisements, managed to crack 2.
Right.
At that time, there was no OTT, there was no web shows, there was
Right.
nothing. There was either TV, advertisements, TV, or movies. So I understand when the conversation comes from when people say it is very hard. I know that.
Right.
I believe that. It is not easy. It is not easy, especially to break the industry. So I understand the conversation of nepotism. I do. I am, as you rightly said, that I'm in a very peculiar situation where one side I am considered to be insider, but for the insiders I'm outsider.
Yeah.
So it's a very very catch-22 situation. But now that I've seen both the sides, I've always believed that an actor, be it an insider and outsider, is going to be liked by the audience based on the merit they have.
Right. But that's what everybody says. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I believe that even ample amount of PR push, ample amount of family push cannot generate affection from the audience's heart.
Right.
People, I have seen the side where even, when you're auditioning and you're struggling, at that point in time to get one picture on one social media platform is like the happiness that you feel it's happened. Finally, that day has arrived. And then you come to the other side, which I am in this point in time, where you are with a film family, your picture's out there, but then you're also under a shadow.
Right.
Well, somewhere down the line, it's very hard to break out of a shadow where you're trying to say, listen, I am also an individual. Please see me for who I am. I'm not always, it's like a perception which I constantly face is that because you're trained by Salman Khan, you are going to be a replica of him. But that is not the case. That is not the thought process. So I think there are goods and bads of both sides. Having said that, I do understand the conversation on nepotism.
Right.
And I have said it before, and I would say it again, that I do not think so. I would have been a movie actor if Salman Bhai wouldn't have given me a break. It is not easy to make a name and make a mark for yourself, or to be noticed in an industry like the Hindi film industry is not easy.
Right. But that's also part of the, I don't want to use the word problem, but
Yeah.
but part of the situation, I guess,
Yeah.
is that because the perception is
Yeah.
that you are a creation of Salman Khan.
Yes.
Because the first film,
Yes.
second film, he
Yeah.
was also part of the
Yeah.
second film, and now, of course, he has nothing to do
Yeah.
with Ruslan, which
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
now your
Yeah.
upcoming
Yeah.
film. He has nothing to do with
Yeah.
it. But the first couple of
Yeah.
films, he was actively
Yeah.
involved with that.
Yeah.
What is your game plan to break away from his shadow to the extent that you can?
See, first of all, I would not like to blame anybody but myself to say that I'm in the shadow.
No, I'm not saying it's a bad
Yeah.
thing, but I'm saying that what the perception that people have that this happened.
Yeah.
Like, I'm assuming that you have a game plan to kind of do your own thing.
Yes.
And not always depend on Salman
Yes.
Khan, because that's not
Yes.
a
Yes.
viable
The-
thing,
yeah.
right? So
Yes.
that's what I'm saying. What is
Yeah.
your plan to?
So as you rightly said, that Ruslan is my first step to finding my own way. There was a very small conversation I had with my family after Antim. I said, it is the biggest opportunity anybody can give me, and I'm aware of it.
Right.
Not that I live in deniability. To be sharing the screen space with a superstar of his caliber, you have to be extremely lucky to get
Right.
an opportunity like that, which I believe not a lot of actors do get, and I got it. It stemmed out of love. It stemmed out of giving an opportunity to a family member. So I'm lucky. After this, the journey is mine.
Right.
The success has to be mine, the failure has to be mine, the decision has to be mine, which is something I have to do for myself. And I believe that in the end of the day, the only way I can cast away from the shadow is by my work. If I find my own cinema, if I find my own work ethic, if I build my own audience, if I do good work, slowly and steadily, maybe I'll take longer, but I think I will find my own name. I believe there are many actors. For example, I would love to. I'm a huge fan of Dhanus sir. He's also married to a very big family. Rajnikant sir is a god-like figure. But Dhanush sir kept working, working, and today he has a name for himself, and he's respected as an actor himself.
Right.
That's my intention. That's my game plan. Keep working, keep putting in the effort, keep putting in the hours, and slowly and steadily, people will start realizing that I can find my own name. I can run the things on my own credibility, and that's the intention that I'm working with. And Ruslan is one of those films where was my first step. And believe you me, I have to confess that the first day when I was out of my setup, it was intimidating.
Right.
It felt like this is not home. This is not. This is not because my two films are very much in a closed setup. It felt very alien. But slowly and steadily, it helped me know what a different work ethic is. I'm not, constantly not going to be in a closed setup. I'm not going to be in a protected setup to say that. And now I'm here. Now I need to do this, and now I'm excited that this is my first venture where I believe that there is no support from the family per se, and this is the first time I'm doing myself everything. Everything has been made. The decisions on the film has been made by the producer, director, me, and there was nobody attached to do the film.
Right.
So I'm excited, and I think my game plan is keep working, keep earning your films yourself, keep working, keep showcasing different side, and slowly, eventually, I think I will be out of the shadow.
So how does Ruslan fit into this game plan? I mean, it looks like this hardcore action film,
Yeah, yeah.
and with lots of stunts
Yeah,
and this and that and
yeah.
all that kind of stuff. What made you say this is going to be my next film?
I have a very simple notion about movies. Honestly, I am not a good judge of what is a good script or a bad script. I only choose a script based on the fact would I like to watch this. And I'm a firm believer of movies to be a source of entertainment, to be some sort of a, for a lot of families, event that they look forward to. As coming back to my upbringing,
Right.
where a birthday, special thing to do on a birthday was watch a movie. Special thing for an anniversary was watch a movie.
Right.
So my analysis of films are always been celebration. A family can come together and they can all watch a film together. And
Right.
Ruslan, for me, was a film that excited me because of the story. Second of all, what it had to offer, which was very different. It was completely different from my first film where I was playing a lover boy. Second film, I was a gangster, Marathi gangster, which had us real life action, very brutal action, but real life action. In this was more stylized, larger than life, the songs, the family values, everything was placed in one film. And I suddenly felt like this is the kind of film that I would want to go to the theaters to watch.
Right.
And that is the first step of excitement. Second step, this is a film where I would say is the typical hero-centric film.
Right.
Which I don't have any problems with. To be honest, I believe in entertainment. I believe in grand master cinemas and the mass cinema, as people like to call it.
Yeah, yeah.
I love it. I love songs and dancing. I'm a
Right.
big fan. I go to theaters. I'm one of the, secretly, I'm one of the audiences who like to go to Gaiety Galaxy and whistle and hoot and throw money at the screen. Because for me, that is the kind of, that is the little child in me who would dance alone in a room, because that's what it used to make me feel. I remember when I would be sitting with my parents in a movie hall and there was this song that was going on screen. A part of me was dancing. I wanted to get up and dance, but obviously I was with my parents. But I would go back and fulfill my inner desire to perform
Right.
in a room. And for me, that is cinema.
Right.
And Ruslan was that opportunity which gave you the songs, which gave you the storytelling, which gave you the larger than life action sequences, which gave you the romance. It was a learning process for me. I remember Yunus Ajawal sir, who's the writer of Ruslan, a very senior writer, when he narrated the subject to me, his first line was that in his opinion, Indians are used to a thali. He said that we Indians love a thali. We are not like the West where we go to a restaurant and we buy one dish, we order for one dish and we consume that one dish and that's a meal. We like a bit of everything. We like khatta, meetha, we like achar, we like some salan, we like everything. Movie making is the same thing. This script is the same thing. It has a bit of everything in the right dosage to make it into a thali. He said that's the reason why the cinema, the popular cinema, I would like to call it, in the movies all over India, has always been the songs, the emotions, the action, the revenge saga, everything comes into one place. And that's where people like to enjoy it, because that is what people's palate are used to. And that's something that just got drilled into my head. That I would like to do something which has something to offer for everyone.
Right. But do you think Indians today,
Ji.
the Thali concept is not new, right?
Yeah,
It's like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
how movies were made
Yeah.
for the longest time.
Yeah.
Because there was a time when, for instance, movies had a separate humor track,
Yeah.
like a comedy track, which would
Yeah.
have nothing to do with the main
Yeah.
story, but it
Yeah.
would come periodically
Yeah.
because, you know,
Wow.
oh, the movie is
Yeah.
getting very intense, let's
Yeah.
break it up kind of a
Yeah.
thing. But today, do you think people still have that Thali concept in mind?
There's one lesson I had. I had an experience when I was promoting my film, first film, Lavayatri. I traveled to 26 cities all over India, which gave me the lesson that India is not one country.
Right.
It has every 200, 300 kilometers, the language changes, the food changes, the thought process changes.
Right.
To generalize what people want
Right.
is something that I cannot do, because I believe that if there's an audience for everything, yes, we would call the Thali concept the most popular concept per se, because it caters to, you know, more audience, because people, I believe today even people do like to watch movies for entertainment. But having said that, there's no harm making sure that that there is a love story which sticks to a love story. There is an action film that sticks to an action film. There is a horror genre that sticks to horror genre. There's an audience for that as well. There's no two. A good film is a good film. A bad film is a bad film. For me, I believe that there is an audience for every kind of cinema.
Right.
And not that just because I believe Ruslan is a Thali film, I would like to stick myself to a Thali concept. I would like to experiment myself. I would like to do something which is completely niche.
Right.
Something which only talks about a story, which has nothing to do with action, which
Right.
has nothing to do with romance. It is just a slice of life. I would love to do it.
Right.
Because I believe that India is a country that consumes a lot of content.
Right.
But in the post OTT, my personal belief with post OTT is that I believe that a lot of times we are shying away from being Indian. I don't think so. India is anymore ready for a rehash of American film in Indian format. Today, thanks to OTT, every person in this country, and most of Indians do have internet, they have the access to a Hollywood film, they have access to a Korean film. Today, we are sitting in Mumbai, my father is sitting in Himachal, and he's enjoying Telugu and Tamil films. They all are watching content which they want to watch. What happens is that when you're rehashing something, which in my personal belief is that now, why would anybody want to watch a remake, for example, of a Fast and the Furious in Hindi? So what has happened, it's not that people are not ready for a Thali concept or people are not ready, they just want the Thali concept in a new way, in a new
Right.
tonality.
And that's what Ruslan is.
Ruslan, personally for me, is. And I also believe what has happened post the pandemic, which I would not blame the pandemic for, I believe the generation has changed because of the social media, is that, as you rightly said, to get to the point fast, is that the editing has to be fast enough for people to know what the scene is saying and move on.
Right.
I believe what has happened nowadays, because when I go to the theaters and I'm watching a movie, I'm also seeing when do the phones come up. And what do I realize is that any scene that is that is longer, that is about a minute, the phone's up. They're hearing the audio, they're listening to the scene, but they're not watching it anymore. So I believe what has changed is that people want, when they're watching a movie, they want it to go fast.
Right.
Come to the point fast. They don't have that much of time. Like, you know, if you can see that back in the day, we used to make movies that were 3 hours, 2 hours, 45 minutes. Now there's a common generic format of 2 hours, 10 minutes, 2 hours, 15 minutes is safe. Let's not push the audience to that level where they feel anxious. So I think that is, times have changed, but I think the consumption of movies, of entertainment is very diverse, and there's an audience for every kind of film.
Right. So how are you going to convince people that Ruslan is not a Fast and Furious in Hindi, but it's actually a Thali kind of movie? How is that communication going to happen?
For me, right now we have, like, you know, the teaser is out. The trailer will open another avenue of Ruslan. The songs will open another avenue of Ruslan.
So all that will.
All that will, there is a lot to offer. Like if my previous film, Antim, we were very strict about the fact that this is a story based in Maharashtra. The music is Maharashtrian. The world is, the characters are like that. Everything is based out of this Pune belt. Here, by the marketing, you will see that the songs are very different. It is a celebration of music. It is a celebration of different kind of songs. We have 5 different variations of music in the song. We have 6/8 beat. We have a romantic track. We have a peppy Mumbai kind of music. Then we have a Qawwali. Then we have a hip hop. So we have about 5 songs which are completely diverse in completely different genre.
Right.
And while we're doing action, Ruslan is not just a character that fights for no reason.
Right.
Like it's not that he's just an action film. It is driven by emotion. It is driven by his backstory, which keeps coming back to trigger what Ruslan becomes. And that, for me, I believe that it is not a rehash. It is not something that I would say we picked up somewhere, but it is a journey.
Right.
It is a journey.
How do you handle trolls? And I think this is an important question because,
Yeah.
again, it comes back to that question that you belong to a particular family,
Yeah.
and the perception is always that
Yeah.
somebody's always
Yeah.
laying out a red carpet for you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the perception.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever is happening may be different,
Yeah.
but the scrutiny on you is going to be more.
Yeah.
The skepticism is going to be more, okay, like, oh, what is this guy? He's just because of this.
Yeah.
Plus, how do you filter away the negativity that comes with?
So for me, it is, I'm maturing into it.
So you still get affected by trolling?
Sometimes, yes.
Okay.
Sometimes I do. There are times when I remember when the first time I got trolled, it affected me personally. I was really disturbed for the whole day. Like, what happened? What did I do so wrong?
Was it like a personal comment, or was it about
Very
your
personal
acting or
comment.
whatever?
You know, for me, it started from the day I got married.
Okay.
From the day I got married, it has started. You know, it just went into a conversation about the reason of my marriage.
Right.
I remember at that point in time, people said he got married Arpita for money. But here I was coming from a political family. And I'm like, okay, I don't need money. I'm not here for money. But why is this perception coming forward? At that point of time, I decided that I don't want to talk about it because it's very disrespectful for my marriage. If I have to reason out to the public that why did I get married? So I chose silence at that point in time, which continued into a perception, which I don't think so can change, because I believe that if the thought process of a human being cannot be changed just by you giving an interview or you talking about it.
Yeah.
They can troll me for what I say right now. But at that point in time, what happened initially was I shut myself off. I remember, and I would like to confess it, that in my first two films, I was very intimidated about what I was saying.
What you were saying?
In an interview, I was very conscious about that I should not say this, I should not project myself like this, I might come across as like this, people might think this about me, are people going to judge me? Are people going to troll me even further? The fear of being trolled was constantly running on in my mind. You know, I was constantly thinking, I should not say something controversial. I should not open up too much. If I talk about cinema, for example, if I talk about cinema, somebody will turn around and say, "अरे, तूने किया क्या? तू film के बारे में बात कर रहा है." So that sensibility of just be naive, just be stupid, just don't say anything, be careful. It played on my mind when I was doing my first film. In my second film, when I was on my promotion for second round, I was sitting with a very big superstar. And at that point in time, I was like, make sure you don't do anything that can come across as disrespectful. You know, it's a very funny relationship I have with the social media. Me and my brother-in-law share a very warm relationship. Recently, I got trolled for a fact that I avoided him at one event.
Okay.
The reality of the situation, we came in the same car. So if we are sitting in the same car, we're not going to come in front of the media and hug again to show that everybody that listen, everything is good between us. We were just in the same car. We came to the event together, and we usually meet backstage. We had to share our pleasantries behind backstage, and we come in front, and it's just normal. That's how we are. But the perception was formulated that I ignored him. I gave him attitude.
So you are expected to put on a show.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Which I think what came to me per se was that trolls made me. By nature, I'm an introvert. Slowly becoming an extrovert, but I'm an introvert. I like to, I can put up an act of being a person out there, and the only place I'm an extreme extrovert is a movie set.
Right.
But in reality, I'm an introvert. I just like to be by myself, spend my alone time. I'm the most comfortable with my babies. That's where I'm the most comfortable. Over and above that, I'm very conscious of what I do, how I behave. Eventually, the fear of trolls started diminishing because I started realizing there are people who troll me, and there are people who also give me love and support.
Okay.
It is a matter of perspective. Do I want to focus on the people who want to nag me, make fun of me? Or do I want to focus on the people who, I don't know who they are, but they're sitting somewhere and they're giving you a thumbs up and saying all the best. Go for it. What should I focus on? Because I believe there'll be no day where an actor can never get trolled. I believe every actor does face a flag for something or the other that person does.
Yeah.
And maybe the biggest of the superstars get it. Young actors get it. So I realized that it's not only me. Everybody has their own fair share. The beauty that they have is that they do not let negativity affect them.
Yeah.
They walk on the path and say, this is what I'm doing. I would still say that they're very aware when the trolling is genuine.
Yeah.
They're aware of the fact that this is something that is concerning. I need to change my course. They are not stubborn about it. which I've inherited right now, that I do read my comments, negative comments, and I make sure that if there is something that is constructive, take it. Formulate your next move based on that. But do not get affected by personal comments.
Right.
What is the reason today where today I'm open to criticism about my work, criticism about me, criticism about who I am, maybe my background. Now I laugh. Recently my wife shared a very funny meme with me where somebody said that things me and Arpita were on the red carpet and they said things men do for a PS5. And swear on God, I wanted to actually laugh and write a comment. My friend PS5 launched just 2-3 years back. I got married approximately 10 years back. Leave aside a PS5, I married her for a biryani. Now I can take that joke. I am okay with it. I can laugh it off. It's okay. Life is good. The only time I'm still little touchy about is when it comes to my kids.
Right.
That's where sometimes I feel like, no way. Like I believe that I was very open about my family on my social media platforms and the media. One thing that has changed in me is that I'm now shying away from showing my kids this world.
Right.
I say, no, I don't want to share my kids' pictures. I don't want people to tell me how my kid looks. I don't want people to tell me, is they anorexic or are they badly fed or what I should do as a parent. That is a little bit of a touchy topic for me.
People actually said they were badly fed.
Yeah. Because
Okay.
I remember because I'm a ectomorph by my gene pool. So he was coming out of the airport and he was just like me, an ectomorph, thin. And they said, oh, he's anorexic too. They don't feed them or what? And I'm like, oh my God. So that affected me. That affected me. So the only place now that I think where the maturity has to come in is when it comes to my kids. Because I'm scared, because they have nothing to do with movies per se at this point in time. I don't want them to grow up with complexities.
Right.
I don't want them to ever, because today they also will get a phone very soon. They will also go on social media to check what people say about them. I do not want my kids to grow up with a certain insecurity.
Right.
That am I not pretty enough? Am I not handsome enough? Am I not good looking enough? That is something I don't want to instill in my family. That's
Right.
something that I feel I don't want them to grow up with the complexities of this comments and constantly trying to because it took me, because I've gone through the journey. I believe it took me some time to realize that today I'm getting trolled, tomorrow I might be irrelevant. When some work of mine is being appreciated, that day I'm important, maybe next day again I'm irrelevant. So it is not something that's permanent.
Right.
And that maturity, I don't think so the kids have.
Right.
So the only thing that I'm protective about is right now both my babies.
You just said that things are not permanent, and you have Ruslan coming out right now, and I'm sure you're planning
Yeah.
what's after that and all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. In today's world, where people are not really going to the theaters as much as they
Yeah.
used to,
Yeah.
how does a person who's just kind of starting out,
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
though you have two movies,
Yeah.
you're kind of in the early
Yeah.
stage of your
Yeah.
career.
Yeah.
How does one strategize for the long game?
Shake things up.
Shake things up, okay.
Shake things up. That's my strategy. I've realized one thing, that one movie success doesn't make you, and a couple of movies failures don't break you. When I did my first movie and then I was offered the role of Rahul and Antim, it took me 8 months to say yes for it. I was scared. I said, I can't do this. I'm from Himachal. I've never even gone to the interiors of Maharashtra. I don't think so. It is a good film for me. And till that Friday, I was extremely skeptical of the fact that what if the audience comes out and says, we wanted more of Salman Khan and why did this character come into the film? The paranoia was immense. But when people came out and they lapped up the character Rahul, that was like, what happened here? From one film back, I was being told that I don't have any expressions, I can't act. To the other film, suddenly people said that you can act.
Right.
Now I'm coming up with Ruslan. What has eventually happened is the fear of failure has gone away.
Okay.
If it fails, we'll learn from it. I hope so it doesn't. I hope people give it all the love they can. But irrespective of what the fate of Ruslan is, my next movie is not going to be an action film. I want to change things up again. I want to go back to doing romance again. I want to attempt comedy. I want to do a family film, completely in family film. I want to play in different roles. I want to be versatile. Because one thing that I've realized, even though I find success in this genre of action, maybe, and people do associate with me action, for how long are they going to keep seeing me doing the same thing over and over again? It's a very simple concept that I believe in. The bigger the superstar you keep, star, then superstar, whatever you keep becoming, the smaller the bottle becomes for you as an actor, because you have to cater to so many audiences. Which I see happening with a lot of big superstars. That when you have a XYZ's film coming out, people's expectations are always set. Music has to be great, romance has to be there, clean character, action, win in the end, everything. So your screenplay is pretty much decided.
Yeah.
And even if you shake it little bit, audience doesn't want to see it.
So you want to be the guy whose screenplays are unpredictable.
Yep.
Okay.
And I honestly want to be, till the time I reach that stage, I want to experiment with everything. Right. How do I know what am I good at? How do I know that if I can make this work, I can't make this work? I don't know. I'm still learning. If you ask me, do I know how to act? Hell no. I don't know how to act. I don't know what it is to be, what is the meaning of acting. I'm still learning. I'm still going on set, reading it, coming to my director, asking him 10 times, is it okay? The paranoia is still there. I still walk up to my writer, editor. I keep approving my shots from the editor also. Sir, you think you're happy? You think this will work? Do you think this is... I'm still learning. I don't know anything about acting. I hope there's a day, I never wake up and say I know a lot about acting, because I think that's going to be the end of it.
Right.
The growth is eventually is something that you keep. The day you realize you're good at something, I think that's the end of it. The day you know that you have mastered the art, like touch wood, nowadays people say, in Ruslan, your action is superb. You're great in action. That's why I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to be limited as this one guy who is only known to be flashing six packs. He's always known to only do a certain kind of cinema. My next movie has to be something different. That is the reason why I take so long between all my films.
Right.
Because I just cannot repeat what I've done. It was a very funny story. When I did Love Yatri, suddenly all the roles I'm playing, the lover boy, innocent boy, falls in love, the girl goes away, comes back in the end, same story again.
Right.
There was a time when I remember there was a audition happening right at my house, narration happening right at my house, and I got to know the producer has an action film also.
Right.
So I had gone to the gym, pumped my body, came with a singlet, and I sat in front of him in a singlet just to convince him, please see me differently. I can do this. And the first comment he said, you are beefed up, yeah, looking good, you can do, why don't you try action? In my head, I'm like, that's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting at. Now, when the Antim happens, suddenly all the roles that come to me are of a gangster, which is fine. That they think, okay, you should play a gangster from Pune, you're a gangster from UP, you're a gangster from Bihar, and it suddenly cuts into the negative zone that you're a grey character. Then comes Ruslan. My idea is that I want to not be predictable. I don't want to follow a suit. In fact, today it was a conversation where my dear he's my makeup artist and he's very sweet. He said, why don't you grow your beard back? I said, because I really want to, this is how I look. He said, no, but your people really like you with your beard because they like the alpha behavior that you project on screen. And though he said it with a great intent, in my head, I just thought about it. Well, if this is what it is, then I need to change it up.
Yeah.
If it's a repetitive loop of people thinking that just because am I a Rowley in real life? Am I this action figure in real life? Am I alpha male in real life? Nope.
Right.
I'll be a loser in my next film. I will play a character which is still growing in life. And that's my intention. Shake things up.
Good. So, all the best for Ruslan.
Thank you,
sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
GT Holidays, South India's #1 travel brand.
GUVI, a vernacular edutech brand, skilling everyone everywhere.